Hey everybody, so today I'm going to share my Zoeva brushes with you. I have two pots of Zoeva brushes here. I have this one for my eye brushes and these are my face brushes. So first we'll take a quick look at the eye brushes. I'll take them out and show you them one by one. This is just a pot that I got from Asda in the sale. I really love it. I like the vintage sort of pin-up girl on there, and she's got a lipstick in her hand. I think it's really pretty and it's an ideal size. So these are my brushes. I did get one eye bag set and then the others have been purchased individually. The first one is a cream shader brush. Really great for applying MAC paint pots and also quite nice for Colourpop shadows as well. It's got nice synthetic bristles that are nice and flat, and it's just quite a nice size for the eye. And that one is the 233 cream shader. I also like how the brushes are very much like Sigma. They have the silver ferrule and then they have the black handle. It's got Zoeva at the bottom and then it has the number and the name up here. And then on the other side it says Colour Love Makeup, which I think is quite a nice little detail. So the next one is the 234 Luxe Smoky Shader. This is another flat sort of one, but it does have just a little bit more movement to it and just a bit more sort of a surface here. Nice, really nice for smoking out underneath the eyes, but I also use it to apply shadow all over the lashes. These do fade a little bit sometimes on some of them, but they do on Sigma brushes as well, so nothing really different there. The next one, it's one of my favourites, it's the 224, which is the Luxe Defined Crease Brush. And as you can see, it's got a nice sized fluffy head on there. Really great for blending colours out in the crease, and it does get a lot of use. I do apologise if these do look dirty. They are used, but I do spot clean them every single time, but they do obviously get stained until they go and get washed. And I just wash my brushes as always with the Sigma brush cleaner mat. I use the Beauty Blender brush cleanser, the soap. I've actually got, like, I got it ages ago, it's in the proper container and it's really nice. And then I got a sample recently when I got an order from Beauty Bay, but I love that. And I also use baby shampoo, which is what I generally use for these types of brushes, more of my eye sort of brushes. This one's the 230, or is that the 220? 220, the Luxe Grand Shader. So this has got a different sized handle. The bigger the head is, then the larger the base of the brush is. But it's a nice chunky sized handle. And as you can see, it's got a really large head on this one. And it's nice and fluffy. It's actually quite nice if you want to do a bit of a diffuse sort of crease as well. If you want to kind of put the shade all over the lid and then smoke it out slightly in the crease. I find it's really useful for that. I also love using this one to apply highlighter on the brow bone as well. So that's that one. The next brush is the 318 Soft Paint Liner. So this one is an angled brush. It's nice and fine, so it's quite thin. This is quite nice, just if you're doing like that sort of, rather than do a round eye and you like sort of do a line with like a cat wing but with shadow, this is quite nice to get a nice soft line. It's also nice to do like lining around the eyes as well, just because it's quite nice and thin. It's also quite nice and firm, not too much movement on it, nice firm bristles. The next brush is the 325 Luxe Brow Light. Now, like the big shader one, this is the same sort of shape and it has the pinched ferrule at the end, and it's the same sort of shape as the Luxe shader. But as you can see, it's a lot shorter. And the bristles are a little bit firmer and not quite so fluffy, so it doesn't have like a really large head space. This is really nice for doing the brow highlight. It depends how much you want to do. If I wanted to do quite a diffused one and bring it down into, like if I'm doing a matte one, bring it down into my shadows, then I'll use this one. If I'm doing something quite shimmery, then I do prefer to go with this because it gives me a bit more control about where I'm placing the product. The next one is the 235 Contour Shader. So this is just an angled shading brush. Decent size head, nice and soft, really soft. And it's got a decent amount of firmness. It's really great if you're doing that sort of outer eye shape, then you can kind of wing it out slightly with that. It's really nice for blending out that area. The next brush is the 222, which is the Luxe All Over Shader. Just an all over eye brush, nice and large, nice and soft, nice and fluffy, decent size head shape, really, really great. Next we have this one. Oh, I love this one. This is the 230. This is the Luxe pencil brush, and it's just a pencil brush, but I love pencil brushes to do a bit more detailed work in the crease and also to just like smoke out underneath the eye. Really, really nice brush, this one. Really great. Nice small controlled head, but it's still nice and soft, and it's got a nice movement to it, so you can do a little bit of blending. The next brush is the 142 Concealer Buffer. So this is like a little mini kabuki. It's like the Sigma round kabuki. It's like a round kabuki style brush. Great for buffing in concealer, but I also quite like it for when putting colours in the crease, especially if I'm using a strong colour. I like to lay it down with this before going in with a fluffier brush and blending it out, because I just find this diffuses the product out while you're rubbing it. As you're rubbing it across, it diffuses the product out quite nicely, so you're not left with a really harsh line, but it's also great for doing concealer under your eyes. The next brush is the 227 Luxe Soft Definer. Again, nice and soft. This just has a nice headspace for doing blending out in the crease, and it's not quite as broad as the original one. As you can see, this one kind of sweeps out quite a lot. You can see it's got a lot of movement, very soft. This does sweep out, but it's a bit more dense than this one, so this goes over a smaller area. So I'm going for something very out there and diffuse, then I'll use this. I often use this with light colours, like to just blend out the edge of the darker colours, but this I would probably use more concentrated in the crease with darker colours. The next one is the Spot Liner, the 310. This is a super tiny little liner brush, very, very small. Really great if you want to do a lot of detail on the inner corner, or if you're a little bit nervous with wings and you just want to do a very tiny one. It's super detailed, it's nice and firm, so you're going to get a nice control when you use that. Really nice with cream liners. The next one is one of my favourite brushes of all time. It's the 322, the Brow Line Brush. If I'm using a powder product on my brows, then I'm using this brush. This is one of the most used brushes in my collection. It's nice and firm, it's incredibly fine, it's lovely, and it's perfect for doing the brows. I don't want anything too long. I want to have nice control because I want to get nice crisp lines, and because this is so short, you do get much better control when you're using powder products on your brow, and the angle of it is just great. So love this brush. The next brush is the 225 Eye Blender. Another blender brush. A little bit shorter, a little bit more rounder, and a bit more sort of tapered. Really nice. It's got a bit more firmness to it, and it's a great little blender brush. I love this. I use this most days actually. The next one is the 228, the Luxe Crease. This is just another broad brush, but I don't know if you can see the difference. It's just larger than the other one. It's got a larger head space, but it is soft, so it does kind of go out just like this one does. So just if you want to do a more blown out sort of crease, I would choose that one. The next brush is the Precise Shader, the 238. And this is just a little mini shader brush basically. It's just got a nice small head. When I'm doing like the inner eye corner, this is perfect for doing an inner eye corner highlight so that I don't end up with too much highlight in the inner eye. It just keeps me very precise. The next one is the Detail Shader, the 237. Again, just another one of those nice little shader brushes. It's slightly larger, so I'd use this more on the lid, so on the inner eye corner where I'm bringing it up into the crease, then I tend to use this. It just makes me a bit more precise with my application of my shadows. I don't want to use bigger brushes because sometimes I get it too far and then it looks messy near your nose on the inner part of your eye. So love that one. The next one is the 231 Luxe Petite Crease. Another crease brush, but as you can see with this one, it's a lot smaller. So the petite crease, it isn't quite as diffused out, so you have got some control. It kind of reminds me of sort of a pencil brush, but in a larger format and a bit longer. But it still has that quite nice firmness, nice fluffiness, and it does give you a nice crease, but it's when you want to be much more precise. It's a smaller crease brush, smaller area. So if I do a crease and I do a colour and then I want to add a darker colour underneath and not go onto the other colour, then I'll put this underneath. Does that make any sense? I feel like I'm talking myself in circles. But if I want to do a darker colour further down into the crease and kind of darken it up, then this is perfect for that because it doesn't go out too far. because although it's got a nice sized head on it, it's not too diffused and it doesn't splay out too much, so you get a lot more control with that one. The next brush is the fine liner, the 315. Just one of those angled liner brushes. Very fine, as you can see. Really great for controlled precision eyelining. The next brush is the Luxe Petite Pencil. This one is the 240. It's my new baby. It's one of their newer released brushes. This is amazing. It is an itsy bitsy tiny weeny little pencil brush. Where is it, sister? There it is. So as you can see, it's tiny, and I did a crease with this, a cut crease. Oh my goodness, if you could not master the cut crease, which I have issues with, this little brush will do it for you. It gave me the most amazing cut crease. I've got a picture on Instagram, I think, where I did it, and I loved the result. So that's a fabulous brush. The next brush is the wing liner, the 317. I love this brush so much. I get perfect wings with this brush, but they are larger because, as you can see, it's quite long, so that will be the length of your wing. I haven't found out how to do a smaller wing with it yet, but it does help me get the larger wing look, and I really love it. I use this a lot. And then the last of the eye brushes is the smudger, which is the 226. So short hair, quite dense, not too much movement in it, but nice and soft. Great for smudging out the edge of eye looks or underneath the eye. I tend to use this underneath the eye on the outer corner to smudge the shadow out and blend it into the top part of the eye. Just kind of blends it all together. So that's it for the eye brushes, and we'll move on to the face brushes. These are obviously the same format with the Zoeva and the colour Love Makeup on, and the names, and silver and black. This one is the 103 Defined Buffer. It's an angled kabuki, nice and flat, great for buffing in foundations and powders. The next one is the 102 Silk Finish. This is a rounder kabuki. I love this for foundation. It's amazing for working foundation into your skin. Some foundations are just better when they're buffed in with a nice brush like this. It's incredibly soft. The next one is the Face Shape. This is the 110. I use this when I'm using cream contour products. It's great to buff that contour into the just under the cheekbone. Really nice, gives a nice diffused sort of look, and it's not quite so harsh. It's a lovely brush. The next one is the Luxe Highlight 105. Really nice for highlighting. It's not too large. It's really great for highlighting on the cheekbones and then up onto the brow bone. It's a lovely little brush. I use this a lot. The next one is the 101 Luxe Face Definer. I use this for a number of things. Alex just used this today for the husband as my makeup tag for blush. I wouldn't normally use it for blush, but you can use it for blush, for powder, for bronzer, for contour. It comes up in a nice tapered sort of shape. It's a lovely sort of shape, this brush, and it's very soft, incredibly soft. So this is really great for, and it's like a multitasker really. The next brush is the 124 Grand Stippling. So this is a duo fibre. You can see that it's quite spiky on the ends, and the fibres on the end are not like they are on this one. They're not as dense on this one. And I use this for like a moussey foundation, like the number 7 Beautifully Matte Mousse, or there's a Max Factor Cream foundation I like using. This is quite nice for that. I find that it blends it and blurs it quite nicely. The next brush is the 108 Face Artist, and it's basically just a foundation brush. It's got different type of bristles, nice and soft on the ends. It has got a nice little bit of shape to it, and it's very soft. It's perfect for blending foundation in. The next one's the 106 Powder Brush. Love this duo fibre again, incredibly soft, nice and dense, but very fluffy. I use this to apply bronzer and then bring it down into the contour area. I love this for bronzer, it's an amazing brush. The next one is the 104 Buffer Brush, just a flat top kabuki. Really nice for blending foundations in. As you can see, it's got a nice sized head on there. This one is the 100 Luxe Face Finish. Look at the size of that. It's absolutely huge. It's pretty much comparable, although bigger actually, than the Bold Metals one, which is, this is the one that was exclusive to that bag set that Boots had. But it's really huge. It's really soft and fluffy. It's just gorgeous. I love it, and it's got a nice angle to it, so it's actually quite nice to get into the contour, nice for blush. I tend to be using it at the moment with my Bare Minerals powder. This is the original Mineral Veil that I got for Christmas. Really like using those two together. The next one is the 109, which is the Luxe Face Paint. This is, I believe these are the real fibres. The Luxe ones are real hair fibres and these standard ones are just synthetic. You can get this actually in a 109V, which is the vegan option, which is the synthetic hair as well. I believe I did have that one, but I can't seem to find it. So I'm not sure where that's gone. But it's basically just a contour brush, which is quite a nice size. It's not as dense as the Real Techniques one, there is some movement in there, so it gives a nice sort of diffused finish, but it is a really, really nice brush. Then next, this one is the 126 Luxe Cheek Finish. This is basically just a blush brush. Really, really nice. You can see I've been using that for blush. It's pink, they're usually just white brushes. And they do clean up really nicely because Alex used this one today, but it will go back to white. They do wash beautifully. But this is just a blush brush. The next one is the 114 Luxe Face Focus. I tend to use this for highlighting as well. It's fairly similar, but the highlighting one is rounder. So it's just got a flatter, but it's the same sort of size, it's just not quite so fluffy. Then the next one is the Petite Stippling, which is the 122. It's just a small stippling brush, synthetic fibres, as you can see. The white parts in this one, they're quite spiky looking, not quite so dense. I like using this with cream face products such as blush. So the colour cream bases from MAC and the casual colours apply really nicely with these as well. That's a lovely little brush. And then the last one is another one of the new ones, which is the 116 Teardrop Cover, which you can see I've actually been using, and it's kind of a teardrop sort of shape. It's great to apply concealers and blend them in underneath the eye, and it's really quite nice if you're doing like that highlighting concealer on the top of the cheekbone, because it's just quite a nice long sort of elongated shape, very, very soft and very, very dense. And that's the last of them, guys. That's the face brushes and the eye brushes from Zoeva. I still plan on collecting more of these. They released about, I don't know, I want to say it's about 10 new brushes, it might be a few more, in the new range, and the Teardrop Cover and the Petite Pencil, those are the two that I got, but I do want to get the rest of them because they're really nice brushes. These face brushes, as you can see, they're all well used. Quite a few of them are in need of, will be needing a clean the next time round. You can see I've been using foundation on these and powder on some of these. They do clean beautifully. This one has been cleaned. They clean really well, they're really, really soft, the application is beautiful. They're a little bit cheaper than the Sigma face brushes, but you do get, I think, the same kind of quality, so they're well worth investing in. Sometimes it's better to invest in the kits because the kits actually come in at a lower price, and they do come in nice sort of bags. I can't remember where I've got mine at the moment, but they come in like little makeup clutch bags, and they're really nicely presented. They're all very well protected with covers and everything on them, but they do clean really well. I've not had any problems with bristles coming out of any of them, so, and they always really wash well and dry well. So I'm super, super impressed, and I'm just stroking them. I'm really, really impressed with them. I prefer the face brushes to the eye brushes. The eye brushes are all lovely. The brown line's one of my favourite brushes. I love the wing liner. I love the Petite Crease and the pencil, and the Petite Pencil, sorry. I love the concealer buffer and the Luxe shader and the brow shader. I love so many of them. I do think they're lovely. I do prefer my Sigma eye brushes more, but they are along the same lines of quality, so I really still love using them. I just feel like, I think it's with the Sigma, there's a lot of different shapes and sizes and things, and it's just a bit more diversity. These are more sort of standard eye brushes, as in standard shapes, and nothing really too unusual, but they are amazing, amazing eye brushes, and you can see they're used. I use them every single day, but the face brushes are game changing, I think. This is when I really started to get into more high-end face brushes, when I started to get the Zoeva ones, because I tried the Neve Cosmetics ones and then I wanted to try something else, but I thought Sigma was quite expensive, so I went to Zoeva. I purchased mine from beautybay.com, but I have actually purchased direct from the Zoeva website as well. But the face brushes, the finish of your makeup when you use these is just amazing. And I've started to get more into Sigma face brushes now, so I've started to get a little bit of a collection of those, but I'm always going to love my Zoevas, they're amazing. So I hope this video has been helpful for anybody who's interested in purchasing some Zoeva brushes. Highly recommend them, think they're totally amazing and well worth investing in. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video as always. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. I'm going to love and leave you and see you all soon. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are and whatever you are doing. Bye!